Welcome back to Self-Made. I've got a very, very cool podcast today. I've got someone that I've wanted to have on the podcast for a long time now. This is Megan, owner of Valley to Beach Forensic Cleaning and also Prestige. What is your business name with Prestige? Is it Prestige Commercial Cleaning?
No, Valley to Beach Prestige Cleaning.
Valley to Beach Prestige Cleaning. Okay. You do so many things. I've forgotten all the repertoire, the catalog of stuff you do, but you're a very, very successful business owner. How long have I known you for now? 3 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done our trauma and crime scene cleaning training together in Brisbane. I think that was back in 2024. We've done our mold training as well, which is our applied microbial training, and then we did that in Brisbane as well. So we go a way back. You've been in my booked out cleaners program as well, and it's been really cool to see how much you've grown in the last couple of years especially, and we're going to talk about that. So Megan, welcome to the podcast. Can you give us a little bit of a backstory on you and how you got to where you are in business?
Oh, thanks for having me. Well, I'm Megan. I started my cleaning business in 2019. I was a factory worker my whole life. And in 2019, I got made redundant from my factory job and started cleaning. And then a few weeks after cleaning with another company, when I started, I thought, I can do this myself, which was a very naive thing to think.
Well, clearly not, because it worked out.
Well, we're 6.5 years in. It's taken a while, and a lot of coaching and a lot of support, but we're getting there now. So 2019, I started the cleaning business. In 2022, I started the forensic cleaning business. It was mainly because of my sister that we wanted to get into the forensic side. I didn't think I could stomach it, but here we are. And then I got a trainer over from Melbourne, Stephen Penn, and it was just after COVID, so we organised a in-house training in Newcastle. So I had all my team trained up, and my 4 technicians trained up in that. And then I went down to Melbourne to do some hands-on training down there, and then decided the moment I went down there that this was what I wanted to do, and it's my passion. So for me, I love the forensic business, but my bread and butter is the normal cleaning business. As you know, it's
right.
Consistent cash flow, it's reliable work. It's a great business to have once you've got it running and structured properly.
It would definitely be nice getting some of those big forensic jobs though, because I know you've obviously done some very big ones, but yeah, like you said, it's not as consistent as the commercial work. And but tell us a bit about the forensic side, because that was the first business you started. Is that right?
No, Prestige was the first business I started.
Okay, but the forensic one definitely took off.
Yes. So
initially, yeah.
Forensics is my passion. I absolutely love being able to fix things. So to be able to go to someone's home after they've been through such a traumatic event and they don't know what to do or how to fix it all, and you can just take all that stress away. Like you can go in, you can just fix it and help them, and then the shift's all gone. Obviously they've got the gravy and that side of it, but they can walk back into that home knowing they don't have to see or deal with that again. So that's
and it's funny because when I did my first trauma clean, I was actually on FaceTime with you getting basically coached live on what to do. And I'm like, I'm in this bedroom where someone had passed away, and like, I'm like asking Megan on the phone, like, how do I get this underlay up on the carpet? Because it's not coming up easy. And she's like, oh, just grab a spade and like chip away at it. And I was like, oh, that's actually a great idea. And then I did it and it worked. I was like, there's so many things that you think you know, and then you go in there and it's like, there's a million different ways that you could go about it. And it was so good to have you to just ask questions that day. I was like, I don't know what I would have done if I couldn't have called you. So what was it like when you did your first forensic or trauma clean? Was it a similar thing where you went in there and you felt like you were in over your head, or were you?
100%. 100%. I had a mentor at the time, so I was able to call him and get support. Like it was, I don't think people think they can go and get the training and get the certificate and then they're going to get jobs lined up. And they're just going to be able to go in and do it because they've had the training. I would never have been able to do the job I do without the mentoring I had in the back end. And the same with Arlene, that with the forensic side of things, and Scott and Gabs and you. When you walk into the situation, it is completely different to what you learn on paperwork. because there's so many variations, there's so many things that aren't always on the piece of paper that you're taught.
Literally all the training goes out the window as soon as you walk into one of those real scenes.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that mentor or someone you can call on, it would be a very, very overwhelming thing. And I think the mistake I made as well is I tried to do it by myself.
Yeah.
I think for these types of jobs, you always have to do it with someone else, even just to like carry out a mattress, and like me bagging a mattress by myself, that was a nightmare. So made a lot of mistakes that day, but I was glad to have you to call on. So could you tell us about how your first job went with forensics, and what, without going into too much detail, obviously, what sort of job was it, and how did you go about it?
So I'll talk about my first big one, because we've had a few little ones leading up to it, which is just like yours, like the carpet removal, the decontaminating the subflooring, that kind of stuff. But my first real big one was out but fuck nowhere, to be honest.
And you're in whereabouts are you? Because I forgot to introduce that.
I'm in Newcastle. So I'm in Newcastle. We do all in New South Wales with forensic cleaning. But yeah, this was the inland. This person had passed away but hadn't been found for 6 weeks.
Long time.
Yeah. And that was on slate tiles. So obviously slate tiles are not even. So the contamination spread a very long way through the property. I don't know how to word it so it doesn't sound too much. But so at that point, we had to cut out walls. We had to cut out a door frame. We had to pull out the kitchen. We had to take up all the slate tiles and grind the concrete back. And it was a lot. It was like never ending. But it's just because it travelled so far, and because of the slate tiles, the job just become humongous.
Yeah, and with these jobs as well, a lot of people listening, when you go into these scenes, you kind of have to find where the contamination ends. So you might start ripping up tiles, but then you might find that it actually travels underneath and goes way further than you thought. So was it one of those situations where it actually did travel a lot further than you've initially realized, and so you had to spend more time like discarding stuff and bringing out materials?
Yeah. So it's like as soon as you bring the tiles up, even the slate tiles, if the concrete underneath is wet, it's travelled further. And that you get to a corner where you think it's going to travel, where you think the tiles go that way, and it goes the opposite way. Like it travels underneath the opposite way. So for us, it was just like, find the end. But
and so in the end, did it take much longer than you had kind of estimated, or how'd that job end up going?
So it took an extra 3 days. There was a variation in the quote originally in case we had to pull up, like I knew we had to pull up the slate tiles, but there was maybe another option that we could have encapsulated them, but they were just too far gone. So that was not an option when we got all the belongings out of home. So then it was a 3-day difference in getting the slate tiles up, grinding the concrete back, encapsulating the concrete where we needed to encapsulate it. And I don't think people realise, you got your full face respirators on, full suits, the middle of summer, you're carrying out tons of rubbish. It is hot. It's hard to breathe.
How many times did you have to get in and out of those suits in that heat?
I think we went through like 4 suits each a day. So, and that was
not too bad, actually.
No, it's like have a break, and it's forcing the team to have a break as well, because it's annoying getting your suits off. But if you don't, you overheat.
Yeah, I think the last one I did, it was same thing, middle of summer, and I had the full suit on, and this was the only time I've done it in like real heat, because the first one I did, it was lucky enough to be a pretty straightforward job, and it was in winter, so I had it pretty easy. But this one was middle of summer. It was like borderline hoarder house, and all the contents in the place were like contaminated and stuff, because they had to be removed from the place, and then they had birds in there that were left in there, and the birds just ran amok. So I was in the full suit for like the whole day, and I had to change out of that like 5 or 6 times. Like I was drenched with sweat. Yeah. And that was at the end of that, I was like, man, I don't know if I've got another one of these in me. Like as fun as it was, especially at the end when I could finally just look back and look at the thing I'd done and cleaned it, I still was like, I don't know if I can do this again because this is really hard work. And I don't think people realize just how hard it is not only to do the work itself, but even just doing it in those suits. So
Yeah.
yes, it's not really something they prepare you for. And the respirators too, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely a learning curve, learning to breathe in them and surviving them all day.
So how many staff do you have with the forensic side of things now?
So trained technicians, I have four trained forensic technicians.
Right. And with Prestige, how many do you have?
We've got 14 in total. So because
Nice.
forensics, people just think when you start a forensic business, you're cleaning up people every day. Well, you're not. Like it is a really hard market to crack. And it's not something, it's very irregular work. So my team that are trained in forensics, they work in the normal cleaning business and they do end leases. So we can book end leases, and if we have a forensic job coming up, it's a very easy transition. As in, they're not rostered into residential cleaning, so they don't need to move all their staff around, all the clients around. We just keep them on end leases, so then it's easy transition into both businesses.
Yeah, it's good. And I like that you separated the two brands as well, because I've seen other companies that kind of just run everything under the same banner.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's still Valley to Beach, but you've separated it, and like the logos are different, everything's different. Was that an intentional choice from the beginning? Did you do it from like a compliance standpoint, or did you like intentionally say, I want to make sure that these two very different things are separated by brand as well?
Intentionally, I think that you market to very different people. Like my market to forensics is not the same market to residential clients. Like my residential cleaning team aren't the same as my forensic team. The things you would post on your forensic stuff is not what you'd post on your residential stuff. Like they're just completely different businesses.
I feel like it's not something you want to get mixed up on your main website as well. Like if someone's on there looking for regular residential cleaning and they see a tab for forensic, they might click on that out of curiosity, and then that just takes them down a rabbit hole, which is not only distracting, but it also just...
Yeah. You use the same vacuum in both properties. No.
That's why I don't even mention that I've ever done these things if I'm like quoting something, because then they always ask that. They're like, oh, do you use the same stuff? And it's like, I hope you're not bringing this stuff into my place after. I'm like, no. So I don't even bother mentioning it. But it's like, I see a lot of places, there's a few companies, especially in like Perth and Bunbury in Western Australia, that they run it all under the same banner. And it's like, I've seen the vans go past me on the road and it will say like residential, commercial, strata, and then it will have like forensic or like remediation, that sort of stuff. I'm like, it just doesn't make sense to put this all under one brand. So interesting.
My goal for forensics was always to grow and be Australia-wide. Like my North Star is to be Australia-wide in forensic cleaning. Whether I have subcontractors all over, or I work with people all over, or I train people in every state. But my goal is to be Australia-wide in it. So that was always the goal for forensics. So it always needed to be its own entity. Yeah.
What's the furthest you've gone for one job?
I've been down to Help Arlene a few times in Melbourne. I've got to go up to Glen Innes tomorrow, which is 5 hours away. I've been up to Brisbane. I just travel.
Well, when you get some in Perth, let me know and I'll come help out.
Well, you get some in Perth and I'll come over.
That makes more sense, yeah.
You find the job and I'll come over and help you.
Yeah. Speaking of finding the jobs, how are you getting the jobs? Is it mostly through paid Google ads now, or?
Yes. Well, yes. And getting a name for myself. It's a very male-dominated industry. So it's taken me a few years to get in the position I am in now. And a lot of money on Google ads. But we have we do a lot of government work, which is people that know me from previous jobs, or they've worked with other companies that have used us. So we get a lot of recurring work from companies that we've worked with in the past. I just got a big contract for like a tender for, which is government housing. And they got, so that's like, I don't know how to word it, but yeah, they found me through someone I work with, someone who come on board and they've worked with me in the past. So they reached out to me to tender for the contract.
Yeah, so and that's all just reputation.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's something that takes a long time to build as well. And you've certainly got that reputation now.
Yeah.
Like you've got a lot of jobs under your belt. Do you know how many roughly you've done in the forensic space now?
Oh, be over 100.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
And in that line of work, that is a lot because a lot of these will be like multi-day jobs. Do you
Yeah.
know what the longest one has been? Have you ever done one that took like an entire week or longer?
The one with the slate tiles took just under 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then,
How did that go in the end? Was the client pretty easy to work with? Because I know that can obviously be it can be a big issue if you're doing these jobs and the client's not very, they're not really easy to deal with.
yeah, no, she was good. I'm very, for the quotes, I'm always very open with, and I give myself extra time. Like I will always say it takes like 4 days and it could take me 3 or 2. I will say we can get it done in 2, but I'm going to say it's 4 days. If we get it done in the time frame, that's fine. But there could be things that go wrong that, like when you look at a job, you can't say, yep, that's just the contamination. There is, like, it just goes so much under the surface that you don't see. So I'll always give myself extra time. So I've never really gone over a job where I've had to say, look, I'm not going to be finished in time. That's never happened yet. Touch wood.
Have you ever had a job where you just had no idea what you were even going to do about it and you felt like you were in over your head?
Yes. Yes, I have.
I think I might know the one.
What one?
Well, at least one of them. It was the construction site.
Yes. Yes.
Is that the one?
Yeah, that was horrible. That was horrible. I'm like, why? Yeah.
How did that go in the? If you want to, if you can, even, could you give some details on that just to kind of set the scene?
Yeah. So there was a workplace incident, and a person had passed away on the road, like tarmac road surfacing, and then was called out to clean that up. And it was not how I thought it would happen. It, like, everything went wrong. Whatever could have went wrong. The client was happy in the end. I was not happy with it, but the client was happy. It ticked the boxes, what they needed to do. But it was just one of them jobs that I left unsatisfied. Like, that was not my kind of work, and I don't want my reputation to be that. But the job got done to their standard and what they needed done. But
did you breathe a sigh of relief when they said they were happy with it?
Yeah. It was just one of them jobs that you just like, you need to do so much more, but you can't. There's limitations. The limitations in that was just crazy. Like, you can only do so much, but you knew it wasn't enough for your standards. But
because you're basically trying to like clean bitumen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so people can imagine like how tough it would be to really like properly clean bitumen.
Yeah, and where there's no power or electricity or water, like we had to take battery powered vacuums, and like it's because you have to wash and scrub and suck it up so it doesn't get spread. So it was a very hard one. Like, it seems easy enough when it's said, but logistically and like it was just hard.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good way to summarize this whole line of work. Like, it can seem easy on paper, like, oh, someone's passed away in a bed, you just need to cut out that contaminated piece of bed, remove a bit of carpet, and then you get there and it's like 100 times worse than what you realized.
Yeah.
And then you go to a job like that and it's like a million times worse. And you're like, I don't even know what I'm going to do here. I don't even know if this is possible. And everyone's kind of just looking at you, like expecting you to know everything and have all the answers.
Yeah.
So I don't envy being you that day, but big props to you. You got through it. Did you have your team helping you on that, or did you go out there by yourself?
No, I had my husband. He got caught into that one.
Shout out to Dean.
Yeah.
Is he very involved with the business now?
He's now employed full-time by forensics.
Very nice. How's he finding that? Is he like a technician? Is he sort of managing things, or what's he doing?
He's a technician, so like on big jobs. So we do like a lot of rubbish removal jobs, a lot of heavy lifting. I have all female staff. Like last week we had a job with 3 days. We pulled out 12 ton of rubbish in 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had Dean, and for 2 days that was me and another staff member, Linda, and then on the third day that was me, Jade, Linda, and Dean. So
Right. So did you have to call the skip in for that?
no, so I run trailers for that.
Okay.
Just because the dump was close enough by that it was just easy for me to run trailers. Like we have the big 10x6 tipper. If we're close enough to a tip, I will run trailers. If it's not convenient and easy for me, or if I need to be on the job with the team, then I will order skips in.
Right. And so you've obviously got a lot of equipment now. How do you go about knowing when to buy the equipment, what equipment you need, and then like making that decision? Because I know a lot of that stuff is very, very expensive on the front end, and you might not see that return on investment for quite some time. So was there a point in the forensic business where you were like, all right, I'm just going to go all in on this and I believe in this, and then you started to really invest money into equipment and resources? And if so, when was that?
Yeah, it was probably after my first job. We hired a trailer, which is a train trailer I bought, and logistically having to get that trailer back on time, it was just a nightmare. Like it was just, and after that I knew what I wanted for the forensic business, and I knew I'd have to invest money in to the business to get what I needed. So we have, at the moment we have 3 trailers. We have a tipper, a yard maintenance trailer, and a normal smaller trailer, like a big caged in trailer still. We have air scrubbers, air movers, thermal foggers, ozone machines. Yeah, anything you think of that we need, we have. And for me, I'm the kind of person, if I need it, I will go and buy it. I will not wait until I need it for a few more jobs and go and rent it. If I need it and I know we're going to use it, I will go and purchase what I need so it's in my warehouse for my next job.
I'm the same to a fault. Like if I need something once and I don't know if I'll ever need it more than once, I'll still buy it anyway when I probably should rent it. So yeah. With the forensic as well, you've obviously, actually let's talk about prestige for a bit.
Yep.
So while you're building up the forensic business, you're also trying to build up prestige at the same time. Did you always know that prestige was going to be like the nest egg or the bread and butter? And how did you manage trying to build both at the same time without kind of spreading yourself too thin?
I have definitely spread myself too thin. I have a mental breakdown fairly often.
Who doesn't in business?
I also have 3 kids too, so it's just a big juggling act. I really struggle. So like I will do really good at growing one business and the other one always like stalls or goes backwards a little bit. I really struggle to this day to grow both business simultaneously. Like one will do really good and the other one takes a hit. And then I'll be like, yep, that's going good. I'll move over to this one. And then that will just take a hit, but this one will go really good. So I find it really hard.
It is tough. Yeah.
Juggle.
I had a similar, like I wasn't trying to build 2 cleaning businesses at the same time, but I was trying to build my second cleaning business location while also trying to get my coaching stuff off the ground.
Yeah.
And I very quickly realized like I cannot do both at the same time, even though like building the coaching business is a lot easier than the cleaning business. I'll say that. But just losing my focus and spreading my focus across 2 different things, I was like, I've got to put a hard constraint on this coaching stuff. So after a while, I was like, I'm just going to spend like 1 to 2 hours a week coaching. So I do the Q&A, I upload some content, answer questions, and I'm like, the rest of my time will be spent on the cleaning business. And when I made that decision, it got a lot easier. And I've only just recently taken myself out of the second location. So, I mean, it was a similar thing when I got out of the first business, when I got out of the first location. I waited until I was fully removed from that operation to start the second one. And that made things so much easier because I struggle as well with like just focus. Like if I'm doing 2 things, neither of them are going to be good.
Yeah.
I really just need to sink all of my time, energy, and resources on one thing. Otherwise, I'm going to get nothing done. I don't know how other people do it, but that's not how I'm wired. And yeah. I think we probably operate the same. So what are you kind of doing at the moment? Are you focusing more on prestige at the moment and building that up? Because I know you just got a big contract, which we'll talk about as well. But how's the growth going there compared to forensic at the moment? And is it because of your intentional switch to like focusing more on prestige?
Yeah. So it's hard. Over the last, I think, I'll say 2 years, my goal was to get prestige under management. It hasn't worked. It's still taking a lot of my time. I haven't found the right person for the position, I'd say. But in the last 2 years, we've got our structures in place. We've got our systems in place. We've got our workflows in place. We've built a lot of back-end stuff that makes the next stage a little bit easier. Like there's actually systems now in place, or like workflows and go high level and all that kind of stuff where it just makes it flow. So over the next probably 2 months, I'll be focusing on I want to push more commercial, that side of it, because it's easier for me to manage than if I've got to manage the forensics through the day. I can manage the commercial at night. Like it's more easier for me to juggle the both of them. But yeah, I think because I've got the systems and stuff in place now with Prestige, it's going to be a little bit easier to sort of juggle both. And then Dean will take on a lot of forensics as well. So Dean will take on a lot of stuff with the new contract in forensics, where I will step back from that. I'll do the computer side of it, but he'll take on a lot of like managing the staff, managing the jobs, getting the jobs done, where I'll be just focusing on the computer side of it.
It's good that you can do that, and it's good that you've kind of designated that role as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're like, obviously, you can be a jack of all trades but a master of none.
Yeah.
And so finding what you're good at, which I guess for you probably are. You know, you may not have thought it, but you've actually become really good at building systems. I remember we used to talk like 2 years ago when you were first kind of starting to think about this stuff, and you were like just trying to wrap your head around all this like systems and SOP stuff, and you were like kind of struggling a bit, but now you've really gone all in and you're building a lot of awesome stuff on the back end of your business, which is going to set you up long term. But what are some of the systems that you've built recently that have been a big help and are becoming like a big asset in the business for you?
I would say the hiring side of things, which we used from the booked out cleaners modules. That has made the hiring so much more not easy, but like it flows. There's a system to it. Yep. It works. There's steps. You follow the steps and it works. It's not, oh, I wonder how this person's going to go. Where's their paperwork? What are we up to with this person? Like it just makes it flow and makes it easier to track, I suppose, would be the word.
Yeah. I was talking to Steph from Cav Cleans in the last episode, and she said the same thing. It's like hiring is always going to be tough, but it is infinitely easier when you have like a proper system in place, because she used the same system from booked out cleaners and she's gone to like a pretty decent sized team now. So where were you at numbers wise before you came into my program and like started to build the team using the hiring system? Like how many team members did you have? What was your revenue level, just to give us an idea?
So I think I was around 6 to 7 cleaners. And we were probably sitting at like 600,000. But coming in, or just finish off the financial year, we're a 7-figure business. And we have 14 staff.
Congratulations.
It's been a slog and hard work, but it's taken me a lot of hustle, and I hustle hard. And but yeah, I think this last year has completely changed the direction of Prestige, the goals we've set in place, the structures. It makes me feel like I can still achieve both businesses when I've set the structures properly in that one.
Yeah, I think the word is clarity. Like,
yeah, that's the word.
You can get to $1 million with just pure hustle and determination, which is largely what you've done. Like, obviously you've worked smart, but you've also worked really, really hard to get there. And I kind of did the same. I worked really hard to get to $1 million. Like I was doing 80 to 100 hour weeks. But then I realized I wasn't going to get any further by doing the same thing again and again. Like the first $1 million is the hardest, and every other $1 million that follows that is a lot easier. And so like I feel like I almost have like imposter syndrome now, because I really don't work hard at all, but the business is compounding and compounding. And now we're doing like 2-3 million, and it's just going to keep going and going. But the big reason for that is because of the systems and all the frameworks and processes that we built earlier on, which is like what I was working so hard to do.
Yeah.
And are you feeling that now with your business, that you've like done all the hard yards and like you've spent all this time perfecting these systems, and now it's starting to pay dividends and like allow you to not necessarily step back, but just focus less on just doing the grunt work and actually grow the business.
Yeah, 100%. The doing the systems has made people think that, oh, you're not cleaning, you're not working. Like there's so much in the back end that you're building to make it a sustainable business, a business that's going to grow and make profit that they don't see. But I'm probably in the position now, yes, I still work a little bit in the forensic side, but for Prestige, I very rarely clean. Like sometimes I'll jump on a bomb clean or some commercial cleans, but not very often I'm actually cleaning in Prestige side. The staff run that, like it brings enough money in for me to focus on growing the business and making sure there's jobs for them.
I think you having Prestige as well is really good to kind of feed into the growth of the forensics as well. Because Prestige obviously it'll continue to grow and grow, and it's going to be really consistent. It's going to be like pretty much the nest egg for what you're trying to build as a whole. But I think with you, long term, forensics probably has a much bigger upside.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to get there by using Prestige to kind of feed into that, whether it be with capital or just like, whenever you're having a quiet few weeks or few months with forensic, that's always going to be the backbone with Prestige.
Yeah.
But I think for you, like the forensic, as soon as you take it beyond, New South Wales and you really go nationwide, like it's going to be huge because you've got a really, really good product. Like your service is really good. Like you are definitely in like the top 0.001% of forensic cleaners and like people that can even do this stuff, because there's not many people that can do it. So now that you've got the reputation of being someone that's really good at the work, and you've kind of shifted your focus to building the right systems and having that like growth mindset, I think the forensic stuff will just explode in the coming years. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on where you're going to take both Prestige and the forensic side now? Are you more interested in growing Prestige in the short term and then and then looking at the forensics as a longer term play? Is that kind of where you're at now?
Yeah. So my goal with Prestige was to build it up where it's sustainable. It gives me a decent income. It covers itself. It's consistent. It's reliable. And then purely focus on get it under management, and then I can purely focus on growing forensics and taking it Australia-wide. And
you just got a massive contract with the Prestige commercial side as well. Can you talk about that? Was that the housing? Or was that forensic?
That's forensics.
That's forensic. I thought that was Prestige. But yeah, what can you tell us about that? Because that's a big contract, and you were working on that for a long time as well.
So it took 4 months to close the tender on that one.
Yeah.
And people like it is a process. It is a process, and people just think it's easy, and it's not. And then you don't get paid for, like, once it starts, you get a 30-day end of month payment term. So you've got to hold them wages, you've got to hold the rubbish removal, you've got to hold the cost for 60 days, which is...
Yeah, so you've got to be a certain size to even enter that game, let alone win it. So, like, it's a whole thing. And you're right, tenders suck. It's why we don't even bother doing them anymore. But, I mean, you've had more success than me ever with tenders. I've never won a single tender. So how did you even go? Is it your first tender that you've gone for? Because they are really tough to really get into place. And walk us through that process.
Yeah, it's the first tender I went for. It has been a process. I'm lucky my admin accounts manager person, Felicity, she worked for a big company before me. So she's got a lot of experience with tenders and compliance and all that kind of stuff. So for me, I was very lucky to have her on board, because the back end side of that was confusing as fuck.
I can imagine.
Like it's a lot. Like, I'm not a very good reader and writer to begin with, but that was just, yeah.
And did they just give you like a bunch of spreadsheets where you got to fill out like every single itemized thing and like any possible thing that could be priced, they want priced? That's the kind of thing that...
Down to cleaning a barbecue.
Yeah.
It's down to like the smallest detail. So it was a lot of back and forth, and it was a lot of compliance stuff on Flick's end, but like we got there in the end. But I also do a lot of work for like MSS, and I did work for Kingston in the past, which had the housing contract before that. So I've done a lot of work for other big providers in similar situations. So I think that helped as well, like, because I've got the experience in the same jobs.
Yeah, I think as focused as tenders are on money and budget, like they will give a bit of leeway to someone that they think is good. Like we actually just got one today where it's a tender that we did about a year and a half ago, and we didn't win it because they had a budget and we were way out of that budget. But they've just like gotten rid of the cleaners because they were not doing a good job because they went with the cheapest one.
Yeah.
And the person that's now the manager of that facility, that site, is actually one of our residential clients, and we've had her for like 5 years now. And so the email came through from her, and it was like, this is the opportunity to bid on this tender, blah, blah, blah. And I sent it to Stacey, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is one of our clients, and she's now the manager. And we still were like, let's not even bother because we know how tenders go. We always lose them.
Yeah.
But then she actually called us the other day and was like, hey, we would really like to get a quote from you. And we basically were like, well, we can't really compete on price, and we know you have a budget. And she said like, yeah, we do have a budget, but it's flexible because they've just been burnt by so many bad cleaners at this point. So they're getting desperate for just a good job. So we actually sent that off today, and that might be a tender that we actually win. And it's because they just got so screwed over by really poor work. And that's like, that's how it goes with a lot of tenders. Like they just kind of churn through contractors year on year. And so it can be disheartening when you get no's and when you get knocked back on quotes, but it is just a numbers game at the end of the day. And sometimes it's just like right place, right time. So it's awesome that you won that. What's the work going to be like? Is it going to be consistent stream of work? Do they have a rough guide of how much work they'll be sending you, and what sort of work is it?
Not yet. So it will grow with me. So obviously when I start up, I will do what I can do with, they know how many staff I have and what hours I can give them for the week. So we can do 150 hours for the first few weeks. But once we've done the few weeks and we know what the workflow is going to be like, we're hiring for it. And they know that. So then we'll work together with the capacity that it grows to.
That's a great arrangement then. That's really good for growth.
Yeah. Because they also have a lot of other people, like, so I'm not the sole tender for it, so they'll have other people, but then you know what it's like with any job. You prove yourself. Yeah. You're going to be it is just what it is.
Yeah, and there are some contracts where, like, sometimes the best contract is just vested interest. Like, if they're happy with the work you do and you're continuing to provide good work and communicate well, then like they're never going to get rid of you. It doesn't make sense because it is such a headache, especially at a large scale, for people to get cleaners in. Like people see cleaning as a very low value task and like very replaceable. But at that level, it is anything but replaceable. It is such a hassle for these people to have to go through different contractors. And it's why like we're probably about to win this one because they're just so sick of going through the ringer with all that. So, and like I've had the hospital contract for nearly 6 years now, and I don't even think we renew the contract. We just keep doing it, and we keep coming back, and they're happy with us, so we just keep doing that. Do you have contracts like that with Prestige where like you've just had them for years, and it's not even a question of like if you're ever going to lose them because you know you've got that really, really good working relationship now?
Yeah, we have a feel like that. It's been they're your bread and butter, like, and you know they're your priority. Like if there's ever an issue, they'll just tell you straight away and you fix it straight away. But you know what staff you send there, like it's, you know, they're the ones that are going to...
It's great. It's great when you can get those ones. And it's like those, like you can run Google ads all you want, but as long as, if your service isn't good, like you're never going to build these really long-term high-paying clients because these clients now, like I've had some commercial contracts that have now paid me in excess of $1 million. Well, I've got one that's paid me in excess of $1 million. I've got other ones that have been like $300,000-$400,000 they paid us now. And that's all come from like word of mouth or just networking. But it wouldn't have been anywhere near that much money if we didn't have a good service. And so it's like, there's a lot of people that are going about this the wrong way. They're just trying to get more and more leads and more sales, but they're not fixing the core problem, which is their actual service, because there's a lot of bad cleaners out there. The reason I do well, and I'm sure you do well as well, is because we get a lot of people that are just so sick of having bad cleaners, and they come to us because they just want a good job done, and then we do that, and then we keep them, and they pay us a lot of money over a long period of time because we just show up and do the work and communicate well. And sometimes it is just that easy, and it's a case of like right place, right time. Like, I'm sure you've got contracts that you've probably had for years now that like they're never going to get rid of you. It just doesn't make sense for them. So
and I think because we both as well prioritize having good cleaners instead of prioritizing having as many cleaners as we can get, as many jobs as we can get, we prioritize good staff, good systems, good cleaning, and you get good clients.
Yeah, because you've got an employee model similar to mine as well, where you actually train people, you hire them under TFNs, and you supply them with stuff, and it takes a bit longer on the front end, and it costs a bit more money. But long term, this is what you're left with. You get clients that stick around and pay you multi six figures, and you don't have the headache with like constantly dealing with this revolving door of staff. So, did you ever consider like, this is just too hard, I want to just maybe get contractors and put people on an ABN like early on? Was that ever a question for you?
Never. Only because I've seen what the contractor field looks like. Like, I worked so hard to build I'd say my brand. I'm not big on social media, but I'm well known. Valley to Beach Prestige is well known.
Yeah, you don't need to be on social media. Like, your brand is just people's perception of you, and you've got a really good brand in your area.
Yeah, so I worked so hard for my brand to be known and well trusted, to have contractors come in and ruin that.
Yeah, it takes years to build a good brand and good reputation, and it can take one person in one day to ruin it all.
Yeah.
I've had to learn that the hard way. I've had employees where, I mean, you're not immune to it with employees. Like, you still can get people that are like that. And I've had employees, it's kind of like a sunk cost fallacy. Like, I've had people where we've had them for a long time, and we put a lot of effort and time and money into training them and keeping them. And then for whatever reason, they just no longer are a good culture fit, and the behavior and conduct isn't good. And we kind of cling on to them because I don't know if you've ever had this, but we've had like one or two employees where we definitely should have fired them a lot sooner than we did. But because of that like sunk cost fallacy, we held on to them almost to the detriment of like our reputation. And we ended up having like clients telling us things kind of, like off the record, like, did you know this is happening? And it's been messy. So have you ever had some really like messy HR situations?
Yes. Yeah. And it sucks. It sucks.
It does suck.
You think everything's going good, and then out of the blue, like, because they gaslight you. Like, to you, they're great. On paper, they're great. But there's so much stuff going on in the back end that unless you deep dive into it, you don't know. Or unless someone tells you, you don't see it.
And it's going to happen to everyone as well. Like, it doesn't matter what stage of the journey you're in. It doesn't matter how many staff you have, how well you treat people, how much you pay people. Like, human nature is human nature. People are going to lie. People are going to cheat. They're going to steal. They're going to be lazy. They're going to try to screw you over. So the key isn't to try to eliminate that. It's just to minimize it as much as possible. Like, I had to fire someone recently who was pretty much doing timesheet theft, and it was something that it was slipping under the radar because we have a lot of trust in our team, and with that trust, you can kind of like let your guard slip a bit. And there was one particular person that kind of took advantage of that. So, it is disheartening, and you can be having a good week, and then like one bad person will kind of ruin that for you, or you might have one bad day and then you like catastrophize and you think the whole month is going bad and you think your business is about to go under. Then you just have to kind of remind yourself and reassure yourself, like, no, things are going good. This is just one small thing that's going to rock the boat, like very, very temporarily, but we'll recover. I haven't always been the best at dealing with the mental side of that. How have you been? Because I think we're all kind of the same, where like we'll have a bad day and we'll catastrophize it and think that everything's going to zero. Yeah. How do you navigate those times, especially with employees? Because HR is just like a whole nightmare in itself as well. How have you always navigated that stuff with the mental side?
It's hard. I'll go through stages where I have a full breakdown. Like, I'm done. and then like I'll take a day to myself, cry about it, and then bang, you're up the next day. Like I need to. It sounds stupid. I need to cry it out. I need to like make the decision. I need to sit in it, and then it's done. I'm not one that can just let it go on and on for ages. I need to like get it over and done with, have the feelings, and then cut it off. I'm really good at cutting things off. I'm really good at cutting people out of my life that don't serve me. I'm not very attached to, I'll say, to people, or like, I don't know how to word that. Like I just.
Well, my first mentor in business, Mal Emery, he basically said a similar thing, and he taught me a similar concept called the swift sword. And he's like, he makes very quick decisions, and he calls it literally his swift sword. Like with hiring, he'll hire slow and he'll fire fast. And if there's anything that doesn't align with like his culture or his way of doing business, he'll just swiftly cut it off, and like he's just done with that and moves on to the next thing. And I've always tried to be like that. I've tried to try to remove myself and detach myself in a way, because it can be really detrimental if you don't. Yeah. Like I've seen people, like I've helped people through stuff where they're just clearly way too attached to someone that isn't good for them or the business, and they just can't let go. Yeah. And I've got to come in like as like a middleman in that, and just take an objective look at it and be like, you need to cut this off, because this is going to completely derail your business and take you down a path that you may not even be able to recover from. So it can be really hard, and it's not something that anything trains you for. Like, no. As soon as you start hiring people and building a team, there is going to be so many new beasts that you have to tackle, and so many new things that you have to learn, and you're going to become a completely different person as a result. Like, I can guarantee you're a very, very different person now to before you ever had staff. Like, it just changes you.
Yeah. So many hard conversations.
Yeah. And they are hard conversations, but you have to have them. A lot of people try to shy away from them. I know I did when I was like, what ways can I work around this? Or what ways can I like lessen the blow here? But it's like, no, you genuinely do have to just approach it head on and just get it over and done with. Yeah. And a lot of the time, like, you can have these little like mental frameworks and stuff that make it easier, like how to deal with like staff conflicts or firing someone. But it is hard. It's always going to be hard. Yeah. And so have you, because I mentioned briefly about your journey with coaching and stuff. Have you done a lot of coaching on the HR side of things? Has that been something that you've sought help on, or have you really looked more at the back end of the business with systems and marketing and stuff?
So more systems and marketing. I was scammed into years ago. That, what's it called? Employee Shop.
Yeah. We still get phone calls from them like once a week, and it's called Peninsula Group now.
I haven't cancelled it because I would have paid a lump sum to cancel it. I haven't used it. I haven't. Yeah. But it's just one of the things that I regret doing. But if I need them, I can call them. But also, like with Felicity in the role she used to do before me, she has a lot of experience in HR stuff as well. So that's been a big help. So I sort of have like the in-house HR person anyway.
Honestly, I find that AI, like, I know this is going to be controversial, but AI is really good for HR stuff. Yeah. Like at the root of it, HR is just, it follows a legislation, it follows guidelines, and AI can extrapolate from all of that. So every time you have some sort of HR thing to deal with, you can literally ask AI and it will give you an answer that is like very objective, and it follows like legislation and laws and all that stuff. And so it'll give you like an objective answer. But like HR people are really good at kind of just tying the emotion into it, which is something that AI can't do. So it's almost like people that say they need a HR person, it's like they're kind of just saying they need like that cheerleader that can help them through the HR stuff. Yeah, it's more like the emotional support, which I feel like I've never really needed. Like I had a little bit of coaching on culture and HR and stuff, and it was helpful. But the more I did it, the more I realized that I already knew what to do. I just wasn't facing it front on like I needed to. Yep. So yeah, it's interesting, and it's a journey where I feel like if you just try to figure it out on your own, as long as you have the right intent and the right mindset about it, like you will do well and you will grow well into that role. So, but let's talk more about the coaching. So you've done a couple of different things over the years, and I think was the Entourage one the biggest one that you were a part of, and what
Yes.
was the experience like there?
It was for me. Obviously, I was never good at reading and writing, so for business side of things, I always struggled a lot. But I'm a big believer in investing in me, putting money into me. I'm going to be the biggest return on investment. Whatever money I put into me, I'm going to tenfold it out the other side. So going into the Entourage was a huge financial cost, but what I got out of it way outweighed the money I put into it. So my business didn't grow too much while I was in there, like revenue-wise, it didn't grow too much. But I did put a lot of systems, pillars, structure in place for the business to grow the next year.
It's like a delayed compounding effect.
Yeah. So when it grew, I wasn't stressed that it outgrew me because I had everything in place. Like we had high level set up. We have the quoting system set up. We had the back end and the follow-up set up. Everything was set up, ready to go. So the year I spent in Entourage, I did do a lot of building, a lot of systems. I got a clear vision of how I wanted Prestige to be. And then this last year is when the growth started coming.
That's great. And so what's your focus now with, because you're obviously someone like me that is always seeking information and the right guidance, which I think is why you've done so well. What are you looking towards now? What sort of stuff do you want coaching on, or do you want mentoring on? Is it more the forensic side or Prestige? Is it HR? Are you still trying to build systems and like build a management team?
Build a management team. Like I know we've got our base bit done. I did look at coaching again a few weeks ago when I spoke to you, or a few months ago, to get back into coaching. Yep. But then when everything started with the tender, I wasn't willing to invest the money in coaching when I knew my head wasn't fully in the game. And that's what people don't understand. If you're investing that kind of money in yourself, which is $20,000, $30,000 at a time, if you're investing that kind of money in yourself, you need to give it your all. You can't be like, I'll put a toe in here and a toe in there. It has to be fucking all in. Like it's
and it's a big investment too, because not only is it $20,000-$30,000, but you also need to set aside like hours and hours a week to learn the stuff and do it. Which is also like if you put your hourly rate, you're probably worth like $200, if not more, an hour. So every hour you're spending working on that stuff is hundreds more you're losing. So it's a big investment, and you're not going to see the return on that for a long time, which is why a lot of people are probably very against the idea of coaching, and people are scared to get into it.
Yeah.
Because of that delayed gratification. But at the same time, people will still, happily invest money in like the stock market because whatever, it's liquid, they can take it out. But like the biggest return on investment you're ever going to have is in yourself. Like if you spend, that if you spend $10,000 on educating yourself and getting the right information, you can turn that 10,000 into 500,000 in 2 or 3 years. And like what else is going to give you that return on investment?
And your personal growth and like feeling like you are where you're meant to be. Not like when you walk into a room, I don't feel like I'm not meant to be there anymore. Like it's taken me a long time to put myself, like walking into the Entourage rooms was overwhelming as fuck. Like it was so stressful and so overwhelming.
And now you can say like, I belong here, and I am as capable as everyone else around me.
And even to jump on this podcast or to do the testimonial week with you, like it's taken, or the 9 honey interview. It's taken me a long time to like, yes, I know what I'm talking about. I've spent years in learning and years of studying and years of doing this job. I know exactly what I'm talking about. So stop being scared to share it.
What gives you the most reassurance for yourself and like validation that you're doing well? Is it seeing numbers go up? Is it like when you finally get, with the 9 honey thing and you get interviewed, is it moments like that make you think like, oh, I'm actually on the right track? Or is it purely just numbers? Do you just go off like vibes? Or how do you tell yourself that you're doing well?
It's probably taken this year. I'm very hard on myself. Like I know what I want for myself, and I'm really fucking hard on myself to get it. But with the 9 honey, like they rang me, they asked me. I don't have a social media presence. So for me, I know people that have huge on TikTok for forensic cleaning and huge on, I don't have that. So for them to have found me and wanted to interview me, that was a very big,
That's big.
like an ego boost, whatever you want to call it. Like it made me feel good. And then just being able to help, like when you call, when Arlene calls, like I love being able to just talk it out. Like I know exactly how to fix it. Like
that's why I didn't think I'd ever love coaching, but I do now, because it's kind of like I get to live through other people's experiences now. Like I'll never get the feeling of going from 0 to $1 million again, but I can help other people do it, and I get the same sort of gratification out of doing that. And it's like, it's really, really cool, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
And I guess, similar thing for you. Like the time you helped me with my really simple trauma clean, like you probably felt good about that, even though to you that's like so simple, and to me that's like everything at that point. I was like so grateful, and you're probably like, all I did was tell this guy to use a shovel to pull up some underlay, but it was like saved my life that day. So no, it is really cool when you can do that stuff, and it does take time to validate yourself, and I think it does need to come from within. Like for me, I've been told, obviously, like so many times by friends, family, people around me, that I'm doing well, and that, you know, people say they're proud of me, which is great, and I can see the numbers going up, and I get press and all this stuff, but it never really does anything for me. Like I never really feel any sort of way about it, and it's only until, honestly, probably the same as you, probably like the last year, that I've really been able to just kind of internally validate myself and tell myself that I am doing well and that I'm on the right track. And now I feel so much more confident in my ability in every facet of the business. And it's just interesting how we can be so confident in our ability, but we can also be so hard on ourselves at the same time and have like so much imposter syndrome, which I'm sure you have, and I think all entrepreneurs do. It's like the weirdest paradox where we know that we're destined to be the best at something or be really good in business, but we also just are so hard on ourselves and think that we're going to give up or quit or fail. It's like the weirdest dichotomy. So is that like the similar experience for you?
Yeah. So it is. It's hard. And obviously your friends around you outgrow people. Like, and it's not that you have your North Star, you're working towards your North Star, and some people aren't on board with that. And it takes a lot to get to the point you're like, fucking cut it, done. I know where I'm going, I know what my goal is, I know what my plan is, and I'm not going to let that distract me. And
one of the hardest things along the way can be cutting some people out that just aren't really serving you in your journey anymore. And it can be friends, it can be family, it can be tough.
100%. And I think you just got to, like I said, it's taken me a long time to feel that in myself, that I deserve this, I've worked for this, and I am capable of this. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I've done. I know how to fix it. So stop doubting yourself.
Yeah, and you're also a mum. You've got 3 kids, is that right?
Yeah, 3.
And so you've had to do all of this while also raising a family, which is infinitely harder. So how has that been, trying to navigate that, and obviously like building the business and doing really well and trying to pour all this time and effort into it, but also still being present in your family and also trying to fill up that bucket as well? How have you managed that?
It is hard. There's days where I feel like it's like the other, you exceed in one, you fail in the other. But I was lucky enough this year, we're in a position that we could hire Dean full-time in the business. So it wasn't until Arlene pointed out last year we really struggled. Well, I really struggled mentally. And Dean was working full-time, and he was leaving home at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting home at 5 o'clock at night. So for me to run a business and grow 2 businesses, but only be able to work from 8 till 2, you just can't do it. Like, it's just not feasible. Like, there's no possible way that you can grow the business, give the staff the support they need, give the kids the support they need, get them to school drop-off and school pick-up, get them to all their sporting events 4 times a week, on Saturdays go to soccer. Like, you just can't do it. So being able to hire Dean at the start of the year, and now if I've got it early in the morning, he takes the kids to school. If he's got it early in the morning, I take the kids to school. Like, I put myself in a position where we have the support at home now.
Is there any advice or any tips you can give people listening? Because there's a lot of people that listen to this podcast that are mums and they've got young kids and they're trying to balance everything and juggle the business and the family. Are there any tips or any insights you can give into how they can make that easier, or just ways they can cope with it and and not only be a good mum and a present mum, but also build a business? Because this is something I can't really share much
Don't
insight
look
on.
at TikTok and believe that everyone's doing it all, because they're fucking not. It is hard. It is really fucking hard. So there'll be some days that you believe that you're failing at being a mum. And I have days where I cry and think my kids deserve so much more. But then there's days that I finish work early and go to school events and see the smile on their face. And I can do that because I've created a business where I can do that. Like,
That's amazing, yeah.
You need to juggle, but you need to know what your North Star is to juggle. So there'll be things that I will miss at the kids' school events that I know mean nothing to the kids and might mean something to other kids, but I will not miss their cheer and dance routines. I will not miss their sporting events. Anything I know they love, that's my priority. If it's
and also, you know that your North Star that you're working towards, it's ultimately for the family as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like my priority is being present when my kids need me to be present. And so I have a 13-year-old, well, turning 13, a 9-year-old turning 10, and I've got a 4-year-old who's a menace. But they're at an age that they would like, it's been a rough few years for the older ones, but now I'm in a position where I can give them me when they need me. And now they've got their dad home of a night or of a morning. Like, we're not relying on before school care, after school care. My mum to pick him up, my sister to pick him up. Like, we're building the business now to work around supporting our family as our kids need it.
Yeah, and kids aren't dumb. Like, they can see what's going on. They know that you're putting in the effort for them, and they would still obviously feel the love and support at the same time, even if, you know, you're working really long hours. I was like that as a kid. Like, my dad had to work really, really long hours because he had a bad falling out with the business partner, and the business partner ran off with all the money, and yeah, like, it really screwed up the family, like, financially. And so my dad just had to work like a dog, basically. He was working like 100-hour weeks, and I would barely see him for a long time. But even then, I knew that, like, he was doing that for us.
Yeah.
Even as a young kid, like, I understood what had to be done, and like, that's strengthened the relationship between all of us, I think, in the family. And it's just one of those things, like it's never going to be easy again, and there's going to be all those times where you think you're doing the wrong thing, or you think you're not doing as good as someone else. And I mean, I can't comment on this because I don't have kids, but I'm the same in the sense that I compare myself to other people online, and I'll compare where I am in my journey to someone else who's way ahead of me, but at a similar time.
Yeah, and why aren't I there yet? Because I've been in business the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, everyone's on their own path. Everyone's journey looks exactly or completely different to each other. You're going to have different constraints and different things going on in your life. And you have honestly no idea what's going on behind someone's screen. Like, they can portray the most perfect life with family and work and all this stuff. But honestly, from what I've gathered, just like anecdotal evidence, the people that paint the perfect image online are usually the people that have the complete opposite of that in reality.
Yeah.
So I don't pay any mind to that. And I think it's a trap that a lot of people fall into. It's like the social media trap. People just compare themselves to others. And it's like, I mean, we have that saying of like keeping up with the Joneses in Australia, where people are always trying to like spend more than they have because they're trying to keep up with their neighbors and their friends and family, even though they're not even in a position where they can be doing that. And it's like this negative cycle. So I think it's a thing that a lot of people struggle with, but it's even more important as a business owner, and probably as like a mum or a dad as well, that you can just pull yourself out of that and just be able to have tunnel vision and focus on your path, because otherwise it can be very, very bad. So you've obviously made that distinction, and you've done very well for yourself, and it must be a good feeling as well, because now that the business is in a better place because you put in that work and you had the right mindset about it, you're now able to spend more time and have more opportunities with the kids and with the family. And is that like, do you feel that now? And is that motivating you to work even harder? Are you feeling like you've caught like a second stride in the business now because of that?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Especially having Dean in the business now, I think it just makes it more balanced for me. Like, the kids can have one or the other. There's no, like, it's made myself better, as in feeling better about being a working mum, because there's always guilt around being a working mum, and you see all these mums on TikTok making all these amazing lunches and dinners. My kids are lucky if they have cereal some nights for dinner. I don't care. They're fed. They're happy. Like, I just don't care. As long as they're eating, I don't care. But I spent a long time like, oh, I'm not home to cook dinner, or they're not having all these vegetables, or we're not having this for lunch. I got to the point, I would say last year, when I worked so much on my personal growth, or like through the Entourage years, that's not, my kids are fed. They're happy. Like, that's priority, not all these amazing dinners and lunches. And then once I accepted that, and accepted I can't do it all, that on our weeknights where we're all busy, it's basic dinners. Like, it's something easy that everyone's getting fed. It doesn't fucking matter. Everyone's fed. That took a big turn on me, like mentally and physically. Like, accepting that was a huge thing for me moving forward.
It's so funny that you're not really big on social media, because this attitude and mindset you have would actually be so good on social media, because I feel like the tide's kind of shifted where people just want realness now. They're sick of all the BS. Like, we can kind of see straight through it now, because we've seen it time and time again. And that kind of attitude is like really refreshing now. And so I think a lot of people listening to this will appreciate that and appreciate your realness and you being just straight up about these things. So that's great. But we'll start to wrap things up in a minute, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're a busy lady these days. How are you going with that, by the way? Because you've been so busy for so many years, and you're obviously wired to just work, and you probably love work. So how are you dealing now with having more free time? Do you get bored? Do you feel like you should be working more?
No, because I'm always doing something. Like, I'm always growing something, working on something in the computer, working on something in the back end, chasing the quote, chasing the I'm always doing something. I'm just not physically clean.
That's good. Yeah. I'm like, I'm because I have a lot of downtime where I'm not really doing anything at all.
Yeah.
But I'm always just thinking about stuff.
Yeah.
Like my brain just never shuts off. It's really hard for me to sleep at night. Like, I have to turn white noise on full blast. I have to create so much sound around me to drown out the thoughts in my head, because my mind just never switches off with the business. I've always got ideas, and I'm like thinking about things that happen. Are you the same with that as well, where your mind just does not stop?
Yeah, 100%. And I think when you do try and stop, you get sick. Your body just crashes. Like, if you try and have a quiet time, or you go and try and do a relaxing weekend, you will get sick, because your body is not used to that. And it will just be like...
That's so interesting, because every time I travel, I get sick.
Yeah. Because
every time I just fully step back and stop working entirely, like, I get sick, and it's like a shock to my nervous system. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, because you're so used to like living and working the fight and flight mode that as soon as you slow down, your body's like, fuck, we're stopped, let's breathe.
Yeah, and so I guess it's just about finding that balance, which I think I have now, because I never fully just switch off. Like, but I'm also not going too hard.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm occupying like just the right amount of space for me and my like my nervous system to be able to handle. And now I'm sleeping a bit better. I'm feeling more energized, and I'm a lot more clear about everything. And like my mood is a lot better as well. So I think for a lot of people, like, you just need to like find yourself in your element and just find that balance between, like, some people aren't going to be wanting to work as hard. Some people do thrive on stress and hard work. Yeah. So you just got to find what works for you and find that balance. But yeah, it's been really cool to watch you grow over the years. You've nearly doubled in like a year and a half or 2 years at this point in revenue and size. A year and a half you've doubled
in a year and a half. Yeah.
And that's big, because to double like 6 or 7 years in now, to double at the 7-year mark is pretty extraordinary. Like, we're not talking about going from 100 to 200K. This is like a big shift.
Yeah. And I think like sometimes I think, oh, I should have hit that milestone sooner. But I think my sole focus when I was in the Entourage was personal growth. Like, if I didn't work on my personal growth and me, then I couldn't have spent the last year and a half doubling the business.
Exactly. For me, that was last year. I was really just all in on personal growth. Yeah. And it meant the business growth slowed a little bit. But then this year we had like another breakout 6 months, and we just took off. Yeah. And we're probably going to double in the next 15 months, even at this stage as well. So I think personal growth does have to come before the business growth. Yeah. Like, obviously to get to 1 million, like, you were already someone that could go from 0 to 1 million, but then to go from 1 million and beyond, like you have to become a different person. Like you have to step outside yourself, step outside your comfort zone, and just grow as an individual before you can really permit yourself and be able to do that. So that's great. And hats off to you. You've done really well. And I'm glad that I was able to have some sort of impact on you with you coming into Booked Out Cleaners. You were one of the first people in there 2 years ago. I'm excited to actually start to ramp that up soon.
Honestly, in the Booked Out Cleaners, the numbers one for me, the hiring and the numbers for me. Like, yes, I know my numbers, but them spreadsheets, we use them every day. Like Flick does it when she does the bookkeeping, like for the payroll and stuff, that kind of stuff, breaking it down into that kind of spreadsheet numbers has been a game changer for me. So like the hiring and the numbers modules is something that we use day in, day out, and it makes it really easy for me to know my numbers really fast.
That's great. And you're about to love it a whole lot more because the platform that I'm coming out with soon is like that spreadsheet on steroids. So that's going to be great. But the numbers as well, they give you so much reassurance about where the business is going. Like I look at my numbers daily. I look at numbers like the previous week's numbers every week. And it just gives me so much more clarity about how the business is doing and where we're headed. And it's good to be able to have that full picture where you can look back and you can, again, like validate the growth you've had. And even when things aren't feeling so certain or very stable, you can look at that and be like, oh, we've actually grown by like 80% in the last 12 months.
Exactly right. And like breaking it down that much instead of saying, oh, that's my profit and loss. Yeah. Oh, we hit this revenue. Well, that's great, but your expenses have gone up, or you've hit that revenue, but your wages have increased dramatically. So you haven't really made any profit. You're bringing in more revenue, but you haven't made any money. So to be able to see it like very easily, the separation of it is being huge.
Yeah, awesome. You got to know your numbers if you want to grow. If you don't, then you're just kind of like a hamster running on a wheel.
Yeah, and endlessly. It is. People always say like it's you either want it or you don't. You're either all in or you're not. You can't just dip your toe in and think you're going to get to $1 million because you're not. Like, it is all in everything, or you've just bought yourself a job.
You can't have one foot in the door and one foot out with business. Like there is, you just can't be in two minds about it. You really do have to be all in or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Right.
I've been messaging you like on and off for like 2 years. Like, oh, I've got to get you on because you've had such a cool story, especially with like the forensics and now like growing with Prestige. Like you're doing really, really cool stuff. You're probably going to quickly surpass me in terms of numbers, I'm sure. Like I look at you and I see you as like a really, really diligent operator. And I think I talked about this with you like way back in Brisbane when we did our trauma and crime scene. Like I think I told you like, you're going to go far with this. Like you just strike me as someone that's going to do well. And it's cool to see you're doing that now and you're going to new heights. You're crushing it numbers wise, building the team. Like it's really cool to see. I just wish you'd do social media. I want to see you doing the socials.
Teach me it. Teach me how to do it. Maybe I need a mentor for that.
Well, anyway, it's been great to at least get you on the podcast so you can share your story in this format, but we've got to get you on social media at some point because you've got a wealth of knowledge and experience and stories to share and you'll kill it on there. But Megan, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. I know you're not on socials much, but people can find you at, I think, Valley to Beach Forensic Cleaning on Instagram. Is that the main one you use?
Oh, that or TikTok if anything goes up.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got the TikTok now. I've seen a couple of things on there. You've got Facebook as well, I'm sure. But if anyone wants to find you, it's Megan War and Valley Beach Forensic Cleaning and also Prestige, the commercial cleaning business. You're killing it. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast. It was great to catch up. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Thanks for having me.